Yeah, this neighborhood lit up blue in the days and weeks following today in 2020. Now, they're doing that again tonight. They're bringing back the light in honor of Gannon as his dad reflects with me on what this past year has been like without his son by his side.
I know he's gone in this life, but where he's at, he's in a better place than we could ever imagine.
We basically were following it from day one.
Shock that a child was missing,
which is why Lorson Ranch will never forget. January 27th, 2020.
We all had a feeling, but we hoped it wasn't true.
Gannon Stauch, an 11-year-old son and brother,
we're begging and pleading for you to come home,
disappeared from his home.
We wanted to do everything we could to try to help.
A normally quiet neighborhood changed.
Crawling under garage doors of vacant units, looking under the bridges, under the culverts. It was snowing, it was cold that night.
Blue lights meant to guide Gannon home, seen on every corner, while his family held on to something more.
I have hope, so please have hope with me.
Weeks passed before learning Gannon wasn't coming home.
Today, I got the worst news and the best news. Obviously, we know what the worst news is. The best news is that justice will be served, and I'll make sure that justice is served, because my boy did not deserve any of this that has happened to him.
The answer no one wanted to hear.
It's hard to imagine a day, so.
For Gannon's dad, Al Stauch, March 2nd was the day the light of hope dimmed, when an arrest was made in his son's murder.
The little boy, my only boy, is gone.
And while words can't sum up his son,
love is wonderful. He just was full of love.
There are words he wishes he could say to Gannon one more time.
It would be the same thing that I told him every day. I love you. Don't get off the bus without your sister. That's what I would say to him, the same thing, because that's what I miss.
Something no parent should have to live through.
It would have been so easy to lay down and just let this overtake us, but we're still here and still going.
With his memories frozen in frames.
As we look around, we got pictures on the wall and stuff, and sometimes it's hard to see those.
And as time ticks on, he finds strength in his daughter, Gannon's sister, Lena.
My whole world has been about her and making sure she's able to make it through this.
Love, a force that lasts long after tragedy.
I don't really want to focus on what we've been through, but just our gratitude and appreciation. I can't express enough of thanks for what you've given from the community throughout this past year.
Honoring Gannon by holding our loved ones tight.
And a year later, these blue lights for all of us, I think, are a way to remember him, to let him and his family know he's not forgotten.
Because love brings light, even in the darkest of places.
Before we start today's video, I just want to say that my heart goes out to the family that is involved with this case. My heart goes out to Gannon Stauch's parents that are still grieving for the loss of their son. Gannon was a special child who brought many people back to their faith, including me. He has touched so many people's hearts, and within the last few weeks that I have been digging through evidence and affidavits and letters and interviews and YouTube videos, I've got deeply emotionally involved with this case. As most of you will know, this will be my second time shooting this video. That is due to some misinformation that is out there about this case that I reported on. I want to respect the family as much as possible when I go into these videos, and I would never ever disrespect someone's family on purpose. And make sure you guys go check out the petitions in the links down below. There's one to have a street named after Gannon. I'm pretty sure these petitions are still going on. I actually signed them myself. There's also a link to Gannon's Law. Gannon's Law is a law that will allow law enforcement to, after 3 hours of a child under the age of 13's disappearance, to label them as missing and endangered. As we know, Gannon was not labeled as missing and endangered until 3 days after his disappearance. So we want to change that, and we want to make it to where they are found safe and that they are immediately searched for with the most effort possible. So please go check out the links down below, sign the petitions, and there's also a link down below for the family's GoFundMe. As most of you know, this trial is still ongoing, and the mother who lives in South Carolina has to travel quite a distance to get to the trial. So she's going to have a lot of fees accumulated by the time that all of this is over, and if we can help her alleviate that just a little bit, then that's great. So make sure you please go check out her GoFundMe down below. Okay guys, let's get into the story. So January 27th, 2021 made 1 year since Gannon Stauch went missing from his Colorado home. As we all know, the suspect in this case is Letecia Stauch. Now I want you guys to be aware that I will be doing a video that just focuses on Gannon only. I believe that we tend to forget, among the madness that's going on with the stepmother, the focus in this case needs to be Gannon and Gannon only. He's the one who lost his life. He should be the main focus in this case. And sometimes that gets lost among all the craziness surrounding this woman. Please, when you pray tonight, keep Gannon's family in your thoughts, in your prayer, to help them heal, to help them deal with the grieving that's still going on. And I'm sure they're not going to be able to start healing until all of this is over and the person who done this to Gannon is behind bars for the rest of their life with no possibility of parole, and Gannon finally gets his justice. So Albert and Landon Stauch were expecting their first child on January 15th, 2009. They were so excited about his upcoming arrival, and they couldn't wait to have their first child together. Now, while at an event on September the 29th, Landon began to have labor pains. As we all can add up, this was way too soon. This was almost 4 months before her child's due date. So it had to be very scary for Landon and Al. Landon says that on the way to the hospital that she could feel every bump that Al was hitting in the road. She said, and then just all of a sudden this warmth hit her from the top of the head to her toes, and that she just knew that her baby was going to be okay, that God had big plans for her child. So on September 29th, 2008, Gannon Stauch made his very early arrival into this world, weighing only 1 pound, 6 ounces, and being only 12 inches long. Gannon went straight into the NICU and he stayed there for a long time. The family almost lost him that first night, and so many people in their family, so many people they had went to church with, fell to their knees over and over in the next coming weeks to pray for this beautiful baby boy and his survival. Now, during each milestone, they celebrated and they thanked God for him beating all of these obstacles that he had to jump to be able to live. The fight in this little boy was amazing, and he became his mom's Landon Heights hero. Now, on January the 22nd, 2012, Al and Landon welcomed their second child, a baby girl, into this world named Letecia Stauch. Now, Gannon was described as the perfect big brother. They said he would make funny faces to make her smile. He was so attentive with her and always wanting to see her smile and see her happy, and making sure that he always stayed by her side, just like his parents had taught him to do. They got older, they became closer. Al had said in a speech that he gave that him and Gannon were playing a game one time, and as most gamers do, Gannon got very angry because he couldn't beat a level and wanted to throw his remote down, and Al scolded him and said, no, we're not doing this. You don't quit. You will try and try again, and you will figure it out until you find a way to beat this. And that's what they done. They sit down and they found a way to beat that level together. So Al says he was walking downstairs one day and he hears the kids in their room playing a game, and that Lena had got angry because she couldn't beat a level. And Gannon tells her, it's okay, we're going to find a way to beat this level, and we're not going to stop until we do. You don't give up. So that was one of his proudest moments as a father, hearing his son at such a young age taking the lessons that he had taught him and showing him to his little sister. Gannon's parents always told him, you never leave the bus stop without your sister. You always stay by your sister's side. And he never left his sister's side. Lena says that when she would want to tell on Gannon for something, maybe they'd get in a little argument or something, he would always start making her laugh, or he would get her interested in something else to make her forget about going and telling on him. That he was just so funny. He loved to tell jokes. His mother, Landon, said that he was like an old soul, like an old man who just loved to bring laughter and love into people's lives. His uncle said that he was the most well-behaved kid, that he would tell him, you know, Gannon, do this, or go get me this, and he would say, yes, sir, uncle, yes, sir, and he would go straight and do it. I've just heard so much about this little boy from his family and from friends and complete strangers talking about how this little boy has impacted their lives, and it's just amazing to me that not only has he impacted the lives of his family, his friends, the people that live around him, the people in this country, but people all over the world have said that Gannon has impacted their lives in one way or another. So, Gannon's mother and father, Al and Landon, soon would find themselves going through a divorce. And I'm sure it was, you know, it's rough on any child to see their parents separate, but I'm sure that Landon and Al made it as smooth as possible for their kids, and that their kids still felt all the love and affection from their parents as they did before. So in January 2015, Al remarried to a woman named Letecia Hunt. Letecia also had a daughter from a previous marriage who was 6 years Gannon's senior. Her name is Harley Hunt. So May 11, 2016, Al's new wife had her teaching certificate in South Carolina suspended. Apparently she had got a job and she just never showed up. They said that she also made reports of being harassed by one of the superintendents or board of supervisor members, which was unfounded. And so her teaching certificate was suspended for 6 months. So I forgot to add while making the video that due to Albert's job, they had to relocate to Colorado Springs, Colorado, where they moved into this home. Now, in 2019, I believe, Landon also had another baby. She named her Nova, and Gannon was absolutely crazy over Nova. So was Lena. They were both crazy over Nova. They absolutely loved her. Gannon loved his sisters. He loved being a big brother. He loved the responsibility. He was just... And you can tell that his sisters, that they loved him. And still do. They still love their brother. And Lena had said at the memorial that she missed her brother very much. So we are just going to go over a timeline of events that happened from January the 25th to the morning of January the 28th. Part 2 of this video is already up, and that starts on January 28th at 12 p.m. to present time. Now, the next video in this series is going to be going over the affidavit, the evidence, and what police believe Letecia was doing when all of this was occurring. Alright, let's get to it. So, on January the 25th, Albert Stauch, who is working with the National Guard, had to go out of town and work. He was to spend the night in Denver, and then he would fly to Dallas and then to Oklahoma and back home. According to Albert's brother, Albert's mother had been spending the week with them this whole week and was leaving with Al that night to catch a plane to South Carolina while Al went on his trip. So Al left on the night of the 25th, and on January the 26th, Letecia Stauch took her 2 stepchildren, Gannon and Lena Stauch, to Garden of the Gods, which is located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Now, Letecia Stauch's daughter, Harley, is at work at this time. Robert Diedrichs, the Stauch's next door neighbor, said he's seen Gannon and Lena outside on the day of the 26th. He says that Lena and Gannon were outside playing, laughing, having fun as they usually were. Letecia appeared outside and told Lena to get on one side of the truck and Gannon to get on the other, and they set off for Garden of the Gods. Since 1951, Garden of the Gods has been the ultimate escape in Colorado Springs. At Garden of the Gods, relaxation and recreation reign supreme, and what truly matters in the world, without the distractions of the outside world, can finally come into focus. Garden of the Gods offers the ultimate experience to everyone. From falconry to zip lining to e-bike tours. They also offer kid-free evenings for parents, horseback riding, golfing, hiking, and so much more. So Letecia, Gannon, and Lena went to the Garden of the Gods, and there's actually a video of them while they're there taking pictures, taking videos, and they seem to be having a wonderful time. Letecia had actually said in a Facebook post that Gannon had seen her crying and came over to console her because she was upset over someone passing. So after leaving Garden of the Gods on the 26th, an incident occurred at the Stauch house that night. There's actually video that was put out there by Letecia Stauch herself of the incident. So basically in this incident, Gannon had allegedly turned over a candle and got wax everywhere and set the carpet on fire. So Letecia messaged Al and she told him that Gannon was very upset and that he was crying over what had happened. So I'm going to let you guys see the video. Turn your volume up so that you can clearly hear the video. I'm going to include subtitles with it as well. And you can form your own opinion about what was going on the night of the 26th at the Stauch residence.
Well, devastating. Initially, Scott can't lie when the TMZ information is. I promise it's the last time I'm going to ask you. I'm just freaked out, okay? Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose? He did it. Okay, you promise. He promised. Perfect. Pinky promise. Okay, alright, so, listen. Alright, we're going to have to sell stuff to fix it. Okay? So, we figure out what we got to sell. We can sell the sofa. We can sell whatever. Because we got to get it fixed, so lady. Don't be mad at us and kick us out of the house. Okay? You got it?
So I'm sure after hearing what was going on in this video, it made your skin crawl just as it did mine. It made my heart ache for this poor baby boy who was obviously distraught and who was being manipulated by his stepmother into thinking that she felt sorry for him when she was actually making matters worse by the things that she was saying to him. In this video, Letecia is about as narcissistic as anyone can get toward Gannon. And if you listen closely at the end of the video, you can hear Gannon saying, "I'm bleeding" at the end of the video. Allegedly. I also want to say in this video, to me, Gannon sounds hurt. He keeps making a sound like he is hurt. Now, I understand when some people cry, they make sounds, but it's usually more of a hiccup sound, I want to say. I'm not sure how Gannon sounded when he was upset, but to me, he sounds hurt in the video. You guys form your own opinions about that. So, during the late night and early morning hours of January the 27th, Letecia Stauch alleges that Gannon had a stomach ache all through the night, and she tells Al that she's going to take Gannon to the doctor. She tells Al that she's going to call the school and call her boss and just give them an excuse so she can stay home with Gannon. So at this time, Letecia does call the school, lets them know that Gannon's not going to be there today, and then she texts her boss at work and she tells them that her stepfather was in a car accident and that he has passed away. Now, Letecia's stepfather is no longer with us, but he passed away years ago. So for her to lie about someone, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that a lot of us tell white lies to get out of work, okay? I've told, one time I didn't feel good, I had a virus, I was up all night throwing up or what have you, but I've never used the excuse that a family member has passed away to get out of work. Even when it's already passed, I have just never done that. But I'm not Letecia Stauch. So somewhere between 8:13 a.m. and 8:17 a.m., Letecia takes a couple pictures of Gannon still laying in his bed, and it appears that he's asleep. I'll put these up for you guys, but I'm going to warn you before I put them up that they are disturbing. And as it may appear that this child's just sleeping, I don't know. It's just something about these pictures are very disturbing to me. So here you go. So at 10:16 a.m., the neighbor, Roderick Drake, and I hope I'm saying his name right, his surveillance on his house catches Letecia. So you'll see Letecia in this video. She's going out to the truck. She gets in and then she starts to back the truck into the driveway at her home. So I have lightened the video up here as much as I possibly can, but in this video it's pretty hard to see, but if you look at the back of the truck you can see when Gannon comes out. Now you'll see Letecia go in. Here she's going in. Now here you'll see Gannon come out right there, and then you're going to see Letecia follow, at which time she stops in front of Gannon's door and bends down. It looks to me like she may be helping him up into the truck. Why he would need help, I'm not sure, unless he's unable to do it himself, and then she gets in the truck once more. Here she is getting out of the truck, and she's going to go in the house, at which she spends a couple moments, or she may have went in the garage, and she comes back out and gets in the truck. They sat there for quite a few seconds, and then finally they pull out. So it was later determined that Letecia's phone was left at home during this time and it was locked. She did not use the phone at all from 9:56 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. It remained locked. So at 10:37 a.m. there is a text from Gannon's phone to Harley, Letecia's daughter's phone, and the text read, "Tisha left her phone at home. If you need her, text me." At 12:06 p.m. there is a text from Al Stauch's phone to his son Gannon Stauch's phone that says, "Hey buddy." Gannon then replies to his father and says, "Can I play my Switch?" Gannon loved his Switch. His favorite game to play was Sonic, and he was crazy over this game. I actually uncovered a YouTube channel that Gannon had that he done amazing at, and you can just tell how much this boy loved his games. And I'll leave that for you guys to see right here.
Hey guys, and today I'm about to play some Sonic Mania.
So Al responds to Gannon's text and he says, "Not today, buddy." What I'm believing is that maybe he had got grounded for the candle incident, but that's not fact. Again, that's my opinion. A lot of this case is sealed and everything will remain. All of the facts that we aren't aware of are going to remain in the dark until after we know it's going to be a guilty verdict is handed down to Letecia Stauch. And I'll be following along with that as well to report to you guys. You know, as sad as this all is, I'm so sad to know what has happened in this story. You know, as much as we would love to have Gannon here with us and, you know, to be able to send him a message and be like, "Hey buddy, we're so glad you're okay. You know, you've inspired so many people," which, don't get me wrong, he hears us, and, you know, we know that Gannon is, you know, playing Switch up in heaven with the angels right now. But, you know, I'm eager to get justice for Gannon, and I can't wait for the day to hear we find the defendant guilty and sentence her to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. I mean, in my opinion, there should have been a death penalty involved, but I'm not the law, so we've got to go with what the law says. So at 11:22 a.m., Letecia is seen on surveillance at Petco. Now, the Petco employees, when interviewed by the police, told the police that Letecia was acting very strange. They said she would go shopping, and then she would go up to the window and look out at the parking lot, and she would go back shopping, and she would just continue to do that for a while until she finally checked out, and they just found that very strange. The police are unable to verify if Gannon was with her or not at that time, as they can't see if anyone's inside of the truck or not. So Letecia and Gannon's whereabouts are unknown between 11:22 and 1:22 p.m. Gannon's phone is turned off, and they have no way of knowing where she went. They can't find her on any surveillance or anything. She just basically disappears for 2 hours. At 1:22 p.m., Letecia is back at this same Petco, and she shops again and then leaves once more. Now, the odd thing about this Petco is that it's several miles away from Letecia's house, and there's actually one that's closer to her home that she could have went to, and it wouldn't have taken her so long to get to. So at 1:43 p.m., Gannon's phone actually searches, "Can my parent find my cell phone if it's turned off. Police don't believe that this was Gannon who searched this on his phone. At 2:19 p.m., Roderick Diedrich, I hope I'm saying his name right, his surveillance video shows Letecia returning. Now, he says that he sees Gannon nowhere in the video. The police say they can't be sure if Gannon comes back with her or not, but the police actually believe that Gannon does return with her. I don't see him in the video, and I'll play it for you guys. You can make your own judgment, but I don't see Gannon in this video. Neither did the neighbor, but the police assumed that he did, like I said. So at 2:22 p.m., Letecia enters the home and she disarms the security system. At 2:30 p.m., the ADT security system, which shows movement, anytime there's movement in the house, ADT detects this movement, and it shows movement up and downstairs in the home, and it's quite a bit of movement. At 2:45 p.m., Letecia finally unlocks her phone. So at 3:15 p.m., Letecia says that Gannon tells her that he is going to play with some friends at a neighbor's house, and Letecia says she tells him to be back at 6 p.m. And she makes several texts to Harley and Al. Now, keep in mind that Gannon supposedly was up all night with a stomach ache. And from the text from Al, they wouldn't let him play his Switch, so why would Letecia allow him to go to a friend's house to play? There's just a lot of wrong about that to me. Around 3:30 p.m., Lena comes home from school. Letecia tells her that Gannon is in bed sick with a stomach ache to go outside and play. And she's actually seen on the neighbor's security camera riding her bicycle from 3:30 to 3:42 p.m. So around 3:55 p.m., Al sends another text to Gannon that says, "Hey buddy," and this is not even read until 7 p.m. This is also around the time that Harley returns home from being at work, and she picks up Lena and they go to the Dollar Tree. Now, there is a text sent from Letecia to Harley at 4:42 p.m. All the text says is carpet powder, 2 things, baking soda, and trash bags. A very, very odd shopping list. So at 5:14 p.m., Harley, it is proven that she does check out at the Dollar Tree at that time. So at 6:55 p.m., Letecia calls 911 and tells them that her son went to play at a friend's house, that she could not find him, and 911 instructs her to call the regular number for the sheriff's office, to which she does, and she then reports Gannon missing officially. Letecia's story to the police at this time is that she believes that Gannon is a runaway. The police, they don't get there until around 10 p.m. is when they get there that night. They do a quick search of the home. I do want to note here that Gannon's switch was gone from the residence. It was not found in the residence. It was believed that he took it with him when he ran away because his switch was like his favorite thing in the world. So at 5:14 a.m., Letecia texts her sitter, who is also sort of a friend, and Letecia said this happened after 3:30. We talked to him, told him to be home by 6. And the sitter said someone posted that he wasn't at school, and Letecia said that he had to go to the doctor because of his stomach ache, but he was home in the afternoon. And the sitter said, where did he say he was at? And Letecia said, honestly, I don't keep up with friends. I don't know about you guys, but anytime my kids go anywhere, I need to know where they're at. I need to know the person's name, and I need to have contact number of the parent's house that they're at. So on the 28th at 8:30 a.m., Letecia goes to Avis Rent-A-Car. Letecia rents a 2019 Kia Rio. At 8:48 a.m., Letecia texts Harley to pull her car into the garage, which is a white VW Jetta. At 8:50 a.m., Letecia picks up Al from the Colorado Springs airport. Now, of course, Al's wondering, why do you have a rental car? And Letecia says that she got the rental car because she did not, that she wanted to go search for Gannon, and if Gannon seen her car, he would run. So she got this car so that they could search for him and find him, and he wouldn't run from him when they seen her car. If you guys have any questions or anything, please comment down below in the comment section. Please make sure you go check out all of the petitions and links and support Gannon in every way possible. Please keep his family in your prayers. Alright guys, just remember to love yourself, love others, and as always, I love you. Bye guys.